scientists in laboratories around the world are developing brain chips. Now, these are chips that can be inserted into the brain, and they are wireless. So, if you look at a world where we have these chips that are connected to the internet, all of a sudden, every piece of information on the internet becomes accessible to our minds. Now, when we look back at today and we have to go to Baidu or Google and type it in, that will seem so primitive. Nobody will do that. You will just think, what knowledge do I need? And it will appear there for you to use. But it gets even weirder. Mind-to-mind communication. This is something of science fiction that we all read about. But this is actually possible today. So there will come a point where if we have a chip in our brain, and you out there have a chip in your brain, we can communicate. We can communicate without talking. We can communicate when you're halfway around the world. And we can exchange knowledge. But it gets even stranger. Because we will not only be able to transfer knowledge, but we will be able to transfer memories. Now, so you could have an experience like skydiving, and all of a sudden you could transfer that experience to a friend, and all of a sudden they have experienced what you have experienced. It gets even weirder, because we will be living our lives as our lives. We know our lives and our memories, but you will all of a sudden have access to anybody's life who wants to make it available to you. We have to understand that this is a big responsibility. It's something we as a society, we as the human race, must think about very, very carefully. Because imagine, people can hack your cell phone now. People can hack your computer, and it can be bad. They can steal your banking information, take all your money. They can steal your identity, but they can't really hurt you. In the future, though, if somebody hacks into your head because it's connected to the internet, they can steal you. They could actually steal you. They can implant memories in your head that you don't have. They could erase memories. They could control you in ways that you wouldn't even know you're being controlled. Is this scary?
Yes, it's scary, unless you're a Christian. What you just heard in this video clip is clear evidence that we are living in the end of days, as foretold in the Bible thousands of years ago. It's coming like a giant tsunami, and it will be the most horrible time in the history of humanity. The Antichrist will blaspheme God while arrogantly ruling over humanity. He will make war on those who refuse to worship him. There's only one way to escape this, and that is to have Jesus Christ as your Savior before a 7-year tribulation period begins. And I'm hoping you watched episodes 6A and 6B in this video series. And if so, you're beginning to realize how artificial intelligence, and more specifically, chip implants underneath your skin, it's rolling out the red carpet for entry of the Antichrist. But before God allows him to arrive, Christians will be snatched away from this evil world in the twinkling of an eye. And see chapter 15 of 1 Corinthians and chapter 4 of 1 Thessalonians. This is often referred to as the rapture. Can you imagine the chaos when thousands of God-fearing, tax-paying, good people all of a sudden just vanish into thin air? Airline pilots, restaurant workers, plumbers, electricians, construction workers, you name it, from all across the planet, they just suddenly vanish. And not only the thousands of people missing, but there will be earthquakes, wars, diseases, and much more. And you can read about this in the books of Daniel and Revelation in the Bible. But guess who steps in, claiming he can solve all this chaos? You guessed it, the Antichrist. He'll do so during the first 3.5 years of his reign, but then he will turn on humanity with a vengeance. And on top of that, he'll require everyone to worship him. And if you don't, he'll search you out, and you'll suffer tremendously. And you see, Satan and his right-hand man, the Antichrist, hates God's most precious creation, and that's you and me, humanity. But you might ask, how could the Antichrist possibly know how to find every human being on the face of this earth? And until now, that would be impossible. But with the chip implants underneath your skin, it will be quite easy. There will be no place to hide. He will know where you are, what you're doing, who you're hanging around with, your medical records, and everything about you. Let me show you what I mean. Watch these video clips.
Machines. You will be chipped, it's just a matter of time.
IT student Kieran Anderson is being chipped by Dr. Jeff Watson, a consultant anaesthetist who's driving research into the medical benefits.
The microchip's actually inside here, and there's a sort of introducer piece of plastic that will push it out once it's in. Okay, so this is the implant coming now. You'll feel a bit of pressure and a bit of a clunk. So you're now a cyborg. Welcome. Kieran has a near-field communication microchip in his hand, and that can be used to store data, store information, his name, address, contact details, anything he chooses to put on there, blood type, allergies, basic medical information.
The idea of everything being able to commute together excites me quite a lot. So, automatic payments and that sort of thing without you having to actually do anything.
Hannes has made it his mission to convince more of us to get microchipped. He's what's known as a biohacker, someone who wants to improve their body with technology.
What's wrong with just having contactless payment cards? We've all got phones, we've all got a set of keys. What's the point?
The point is to reduce the hassle of exactly these things. I mean, in the morning, every morning, when you stand there, going out your front door, you check your purse or your pockets. Okay, do I have my wallet, my charger, my keys, my phone, all my stuff? What if you could reduce that by half? It would declutter your life.
Isn't that just the ultimate laziness?
No, it's convenience. And convenience is a pretty powerful force.
It happens in seconds. Your child wanders off and panic sets in. But what if you had an extra layer of security inside your child?
If it'll save my kid, there's no step that's too extreme.
The technology is here, but just how far would you go to keep your kids safe? Our expert insists putting this technology in place is just a matter of time.
It could save a life, reunite a family, find a missing Alzheimer's patient.
Small firm recently embedded microchips in their employees as a way to bypass company badges and corporate logons and to get attention for their cafeteria kiosks, which are available on a cashless payment plan like Apple Pay. Chip proponents tell us that having a chip in the hand is better than grabbing for the cell phone because you can never forget it and you can't lose it and you have the capability to communicate with machines.
When Elias Brotberger goes to work, he doesn't need ID, and he doesn't need money. In fact, much of what he needs to get through the day is hidden right there, just below the surface, in his hand.
You like to touch it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, weird. Yeah, it's like a grain of rice.
Yeah, a grain of rice.
Embedded in his hand is a microchip that serves as his keys, his ID, and his wallet.
Yeah, it's all in chip, so I use it like to get around the building.
Buy snacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's buy some snacks. Exactly. So I can't open it?
No.
Okay.
So what I need to do is I need to first blip my chip, and it will log me in, and from there I get access to the fridge.
The microchip implants use the same technology that's in contactless credit cards,
which have made cash pretty much obsolete in Sweden.
No cash.
At this tech fair, a chipping event for those on the cutting edge, merging their hands with this new technology.
I thought it would be fun, right? Can we trust our own brains, and what can our dreams teach us? We speak to Morin Cerf, a neuroscientist from Northwestern University. Mr. Morin, thank you very much indeed for being with us. Is it possible to hack the human brain, and is it as easy as hacking a computer?
It's actually probably easier. The reality is that we're now starting to understand how you can actually influence a person to change their mind and behave in a certain way. And a lot of companies are interested in that because this tackles the very idea of free will.
Talk about it that maybe there is a use to try to eliminate those bad thoughts,
PTSD memories,
bad divorce,
rape,
whatever.
Trauma.
This whole area of functional brain surgery, whether it be a chip, whether it be brain stimulation. I mean, this is an area that is evolving at a crazy rate. I remember when Neil Martin, the neurosurgeon, was on, he said, just wait, Drew, the time is coming. We're going to control so many of these behaviors, obesity. Right. For example, he said, we're going to control it all through the brain.
This is Westworld-esque, you know, with all the someone in a control room somewhere controlling your memories, controlling your thoughts.
It's creepy.
This is very creepy.
Panel, the executive's latest startup is called Neuralink, which focuses on the goal of implanting chips into human brains and also connecting brains to computers. Here's what Elon Musk said at a
There's a lot that can be done to improve quality of life of individuals, and those will be steps along the way. And then ultimately, it's intended to address the existential risk associated with digital superintelligence. Like, we will not be able to be smarter than a digital supercomputer. So therefore, if you cannot beat them, join them.
So you have hope that Neuralink will be able to be a kind of connection to allow us to merge, to ride the wave of the improving AI systems.
It's important that Neuralink solve this problem sooner rather than later, because the point at which we have digital superintelligence, that's when we pass the singularity. For the point at which we pass singularity, things become extremely unstable. So we want to have a human brain interface before the singularity, or at least not long after it, to minimize existential risk for humanity and consciousness as we know it.
Existential risk for humanity? It's what the Bible calls the end of times. Isn't that wild? It's like watching a science fiction movie 20 years ago, but it's here now. We seem to be in a race to merge our minds with AI in hopes we can control it before it gets to the point of controlling us. And this is not a sci-fi movie. It's reality in our lifetime right now. And the red carpet is indeed being rolled out for the Antichrist. It seems quite clear that AI will be the system that the Antichrist uses to control every person on the planet. But he is being temporarily held back until the rapture of the saints occurs. I'll close today's episode with this thought. I hear so many Christians say they believe the rapture could happen any second, any moment. And I must say, I don't believe most of them. If they really believed it, why are they sitting on the sidelines? Where is the urgency? Why aren't we passionate, I mean really passionate, about helping the unsaved accept Jesus Christ as their personal Savior? You think about that.